Welcome. Take a moment to breathe in and out. Let all stress melt away. A realm of captivating narratives is on the horizon. Just relax and let the story unfold. Let's begin. On a late spring afternoon, as sunlight danced on the sakura petals littering the quiet streets of Kyoto, Haru found himself drawn into a nondescript alley. Time seemed to flow differently here, unhurried and serene, just like the old river that meandered around the town. The alley opened up into an even quieter lane, housing an antique shop whose worn-out wooden signboard creaked gently under the caress of the wind. Rows of vintage items lay in somber silence, each one a token from a different era, each one holding a story, a memory locked within its form. Haru had visited this place often, losing himself in the maze of yesteryears, each artifact offering him an escape from his solitary existence into a world far more vibrant yet intangible. Haru himself was an enigma. His early 40s carried the somber weight of an ancient soul. An author by profession, he would spend his days spinning tales filled with vivid characters, their lives a stark contrast to his own solitary existence. His solitude wasn't mere physical isolation, but a deeper, more profound loneliness that gnawed at him from within. It was a longing for something, or someone he wasn't quite sure of. As he strolled through the antique shop, his fingers trailed over weathered scrolls and tarnished bronzes, his eyes lingering on a beautiful Meiji-era kimono. Something about the garment called to him, its faded colors and delicate embroidery whispering tales of love, loss, and time. Hidden within the folds of the kimono, he found a brittle envelope, its edges worn, its color faded, a silent witness to the relentless passage of time. A curious tingle crawled up his spine as he unfolded the aged paper, revealing a letter written in a meticulous, delicate script. As Haru held the letter in his hands, the world around him seemed to blur. His heart echoed the rhythm of an old clock, ticking away in rhythm with the rustling leaves outside. His eyes hungrily devoured the words penned down with an elegance that spoke of a refined hand, a practiced stroke, and an era long gone. The letter, signed off by someone named Ayame, was a poignant confession of love, an intimate glimpse into a vibrant heart trapped within the confines of a fading era. Haru felt a strange connection to her words, to her raw emotions poured onto the parchment. Her words, seemingly unrelated to his life, resonated within him, stirring emotions he had buried deep within his heart. As the dusk descended, enveloping Kyoto in a soft, tender blanket of darkness, Haru found himself trapped within the enigmatic world of Ayame. Her words, poignant yet comforting, echoed through his silent house, seeping into the nooks and crannies of his lonely existence. There was an innate melancholy to her words, a quiet longing for something unreachable, something that lay just beyond the grasp. As he read, he realized that her longing mirrored his own, a mirror held up to his solitude, refracting his feelings in a different light. In that moment, under the soft glow of his desk lamp, surrounded by the scent of antiquated paper and the silence of his solitude, Haru felt a strange kind of connection. A connection that spanned across eras, bridging the gap between a lonely author in present-day Kyoto and a bygone geisha pining for her love. The day had retired, surrendering to the velvety cloak of night that had descended upon Kyoto. Outside, the wind had turned into a gentle zephyr, whispering stories into the silence of the night. Haru sat there, the letter clutched in his hand, his thoughts cast adrift on the sea of Ayame's emotions. An inexplicable sensation swept over him, something akin to recognition, or perhaps even deeper, like understanding. The love that Ayame spoke of, though long lost in the folds of time, felt alive, palpable. Her emotions leapt off the inked lines and wove a tapestry of raw, heartfelt longing, filling the quiet spaces in Haru's world. The echo of her yearning resonated within the silent chambers of his heart, stirring a whirlpool of emotions he thought he'd firmly locked away. Gradually, as the tendrils of night curled around the corners of his world, he leaned back in his chair, eyes closed, letting Ayame's words wash over him. The night was punctuated only by the gentle rustling of the aged letter as he folded it back, laying it on his desk, the moonlight dancing on its worn edges. Through the letter, Haru felt a bond form, a silver thread linking his heart to Ayame's, strung across the abyss of time. Her emotions had touched something within him, setting off a chain reaction that promised to unearth his own long-suppressed feelings. The old house creaked under the weight of this revelation, the only witness to a tale unfolding across centuries. As the moon traversed the star-studded canvas of the night sky, casting a serene glow over Kyoto, Haru found himself on the precipice of a journey that promised to peel back the layers of his solitude, a journey guided by the yearning of a love lost to time. Feeling a sense of fulfillment he had not known for years, Haru decided to retire for the night. He left the letter open on his desk, Ayame's words seeming to shimmer in the moonlight that streamed in through the window. A sense of anticipation filled the air, hanging heavy like the scent of the old parchments. Under the ethereal glow of the moon, he drifted into slumber, his dreams filled with whispers of a love story penned down ages ago. As he crossed the threshold into the realm of dreams, he could almost hear the distant laughter of geishas, the rustle of their silk kimonos, and a voice, soft yet persistent, reading out a love letter lost in time. Haru woke to the scent of morning dew and the distant cooing of doves. For a moment, he lay still, caught in the haze between dreams and reality, echoes of Ayame's words still lingering in his mind. He emerged from his dream-filled slumber with a sense of warmth, as if he had been gently cradled by the words of the love letter throughout the night. His day began like any other, the world outside his window slowly coming to life. Kyoto, wrapped in the arms of dawn, held its breath as the sun peered over the horizon, painting the sleepy town in hues of orange and gold. Yet everything seemed different to Haru. There was a new rhythm to the rustling leaves, a new cadence to the chittering of birds, as if they were all part of an orchestra playing a symphony composed long ago by a heart yearning for love. In the quiet solitude of his morning, Haru found himself drawn back to his desk, the letter resting on it like a forgotten melody. He picked it up gently, the delicate paper rustling under his touch, a tangible remnant of an intangible past. His fingers traced the inked words, the swaying loops and curves of Ayame's script, each stroke revealing a tale of longing, dreams, and an unfaltering love. Haru sank into his chair, consumed by the universe within Ayame's letter. Her words spun a narrative so poignant and visceral that he could almost see her. The graceful geisha clothed in her exquisite kimono, her hair adorned with a kanzashi, her soul wrapped in a cloak of unrequited love. He immersed himself in her world, his senses attuned to the rhythmic plucking of the shamisen, the elegant dance of the lantern light on painted silk screens, and the soft rustle of sliding shoji doors. He could feel the paradoxical world she lived in, a world where the vibrancy of life was shadowed by the subdued melancholy of unfulfilled love. In that quiet morning, Haru felt as though he was living between the layers of time, with one foot in the present and the other stepping into Ayame's past. The chasm between centuries started to blur, the barriers between the then and now softening under the weight of an emotion as timeless as love. His author's instinct was awakened by Ayame's tale. He found himself wanting to know more about her, to understand her, to explore her world, her feelings, and the unnamed lover she yearned for. Haru decided to write, not a story birthed from his imagination, but a story etched in time, a story that began with a love letter and a name, Ayame. As the day wore on, Haru found himself weaving the threads of Ayame's narrative, their stories intertwining like the intricate patterns on her kimono. He wrote with a fervor he hadn't felt in years, his pen moving as if guided by a spirit from another era. His words painted a vivid picture of Ayame's world, her love, her longing. The solitude he usually felt seemed to dissipate, replaced by an overwhelming sense of companionship. In Ayame, he found a companion, a kindred spirit from a different era, her voice resonating in the silent corridors of his existence. As dusk arrived, casting long shadows over his desk, Haru paused, leaning back in his chair. His gaze wandered to the letter, now placed reverently next to his manuscript. There was a sense of tranquility that settled over him, a profound peace he had never felt before. The words he had penned seemed to breathe life into the room, stirring the silence with the soft rustle of pages and the gentle whisper of the past. As the night descended, enveloping Kyoto in its velvet darkness, Haru found himself stepping into the world of his creation. He was no longer just an author, but a silent observer, wandering through the streets of Meiji-era Kyoto, following the ephemeral echo of Ayame's voice. He could almost see the geisha houses, illuminated by the soft glow of lanterns, hear the muffled sounds of the shamisen floating on the evening air, feel the anticipation in the night, thick and tangible. The spectral form of Ayame, with her pale, delicate face framed by the intricate kanzashi, her silk kimono rustling softly, seemed to walk beside him, her voice narrating their shared tale. As he retreated from his writing desk, the moon cast a silver glow on his parchment, illuminating the words that held a story within a story. Haru felt a peculiar satisfaction, a sense of completeness, as if he had finally found the missing piece of a puzzle he didn't know existed. In his solitude, Haru had found company. In the silence of his existence, he had found a voice that echoed his unspoken emotions. Ayame, though a specter from the past, had become a real presence in his life, her story intertwined with his own in the most unexpected ways. Retiring for the night, he could feel Ayame's story continue to unfold within him, the inked echoes resonating through the tranquility of his world. As sleep beckoned him into its soothing embrace, Haru felt a connection, a strange kinship with a geisha from a bygone era. He was no longer alone in his world. He shared it with Ayame, their worlds merging in the twilight zone between past and present. Under the soft lunar light, Haru closed his eyes, the haunting melody of a shamisen serenading him into a world where time stood still. His dreams were painted with the vibrant colors of Ayame's world, her voice softly whispering her story into his soul, their narrative coming alive in the silent theater of the night. As the dawn broke, Haru awoke to find the morning air filled with an inexplicable energy. He could feel it humming in his veins, echoing in the silence of his room, a resonance he hadn't felt before. It was as if Ayame's story was not merely being written, but lived, her emotions bleeding into his existence, coloring his world in hues of love, longing, and a sweet melancholy. He returned to his desk, a sanctuary where the threads of his and Ayame's lives intertwined. His hand grazed the aged letter, the paper rustling under his touch like a distant sigh from the past. He found himself drawn to the time-worn ink, the emotions etched into the fibers of the paper, timeless and alive. The morning sun filtered through his window, casting dappled shadows on his manuscript. Haru picked up his pen, the instrument feeling like an extension of his soul, an anchor tethering him to both present and past. As the tip of the pen touched the paper, the words began to flow, as if they were a river that had been waiting to break free. Haru dove deep into Ayame's tale, immersing himself in her world. He felt her joys and sorrows, her dreams and despair, her unfulfilled love and relentless yearning. As he penned down her story, he realized he was not merely writing. He was experiencing, living, breathing her emotions, weaving a tapestry of interconnected sentiments that transcended the boundaries of time. As the sun journeyed across the sky, bathing Kyoto in its warm embrace, Haru lived through seasons of Ayame's life. His fingers danced on the paper, their movement as rhythmic and graceful as a geisha's dance, each stroke imbuing life into Ayame's tale. While writing, he often paused, finding himself lost in contemplation. He found himself questioning, empathizing, feeling Ayame's pain and hope. Her unvoiced dreams, her silent sighs, Her restrained tears seemed to find an echo in his heart, resonating within the chambers of his own unspoken emotions. In the quietude of his home, with only the soft rustle of the sakura trees outside for company, Haru found himself traversing the corridors of his own heart, the footprints of Ayame's journey guiding him. His solitude had been penetrated by a voice from another era, a voice that sang a melancholic symphony that was as much her own as it was his. His exploration into Ayame's world wasn't just a discovery of her life, but a self-revelation. Her yearning mirrored his own, her solitude reflecting his, and her unspoken love echoing the silent chambers of his heart. As dusk fell, a soft knock at the door broke Haru's reverie. Standing in the doorway was Mr. Suzuki, the elderly owner of the antique shop, a small parcel in his hand. The parcel contained another artifact from the Meiji era, a painted fan delicately decorated with sakura blossoms and a river, a piece of Ayame's world. In that evening light, as Haru held the fan, he felt another ripple of connection, another thread woven into his bond with Ayame. As he traced the painted sakura blossoms, he felt an inexplicable sense of belonging, as if he had been a part of this world, Ayame's world, all along. Under the star-studded Kyoto sky, Haru retired to his dreams, his reality imbued with Ayame's presence. His solitude was no longer a silent chamber, but a melody composed of inked echoes, a testament to a love story that had woven its narrative across centuries. In the realm of dreams, he strolled down the lantern-lit streets of Meiji-era Kyoto, the painted fan held close. He was serenaded by the distant melody of the shamisen, the rhythmic clack of geta on stone pathways, and the whisper of Ayame's voice retelling her story. Each evening in his dreams was a mirror to Ayame's world. He could feel the fabric of her kimono, the cool silk against his skin, the rustle of her movement an echo through time. The sweet scent of her incense filled his senses, lulling him deeper into her reality. Haru's world was being rewritten, no longer a tale of solitary existence, but a symphony that played in harmony with the echoes of Ayame's love. The lines between past and present, dreams and reality, had started to blur, merging into a timeless narrative that spanned the centuries. The depth of Ayame's yearning, etched in the folds of her love letter, had become a constant echo in Haru's life, a presence as real and tangible as the morning sun filtering through his window. Her emotions had become his compass, guiding him through the unexplored landscapes of his own heart. As the moon held vigil over the night, bathing his room in a soft glow, Haru was transported back to a time where geishas danced under the cherry blossom trees, and love letters were penned in the quietude of the night. The soft rustle of his manuscript resonated with the pulse of his heart, a testament to a love story lost in time. Ayame's tale was now a part of him, a narrative woven into the fabric of his existence. The spectral geisha had etched her presence in the corners of his world, her voice an echo that danced with his solitude, her story a melody that played in the silent theater of his heart. As sleep cradled him in its gentle embrace, Haru felt an overwhelming sense of connection with the geisha from the past. In the quietude of the night, under the watchful eyes of the moon, Haru and Ayame, separated by centuries, found solace in each other's stories, their hearts humming the same melody of longing and love. As the sun rose on a new day in modern Kyoto, the past and present continued to dance their peculiar waltz in Haru's world. He woke up, his dreams resonating with the notes of Ayame's shamisen, the specter of her silk kimono a tangible echo in the waking world. The thin line between dreams and reality had blurred, replaced by a vibrant palette of shared emotions. As he resumed his seat at the desk, Haru couldn't shake off the feeling that he wasn't alone. Ayame's presence lingered in his room, a gentle echo in the quiet morning. His pen was no longer just a tool, it was a bridge, a conduit that connected their worlds, knitting together a narrative that spanned time itself. His hands traced the contours of her fan, the painted sakura blossoms almost coming to life under his touch. The whispering wind outside seemed to carry her laughter, her sighs, and her song. Ayame was there with him, her story illuminating his world like the soft glow of the lanterns of her time. Immersed in the task at hand, Haru delved deeper into Ayame's world. He could see her in the tea houses, hear her delicate laughter echo in the narrow alleyways of Kyoto, and feel her gentle soul through the strokes of his pen. Their shared narrative was no longer confined to the pages of his manuscript. It had spilled over into his reality, painting his world in the vibrant hues of Ayame's existence. Even as the day turned into night, and the world outside his window changed, the connection he shared with Ayame only grew stronger. Haru could feel her essence seeping into his world, could see the ethereal beauty of Meiji-era Kyoto in the neon-lit streets of the present city. The centuries-old city was their common ground, the time-bound echo that connected their otherwise distant worlds. As he wove the narrative of her unrequited love, Haru found himself navigating through his own unvoiced emotions. His solitary existence seemed to echo Ayame's, their lives an intricately interlaced tapestry of love, longing, and solitude. In his solitude, Haru felt more connected than ever. His heart was no longer an empty vessel, but a treasure chest filled with Ayame's emotions. Every stroke of his pen, every echo of her voice, every trace of her existence was an imprint on his heart, a testament to their shared narrative. Underneath the bright moon, Haru continued to traverse the intricate pathways of Ayame's heart, his manuscript a portal to her world. With every word he inked, he understood her a little more, his heart echoing her silent cries, her unfulfilled dreams, and her undying love. The tranquility of the night was punctuated by the rhythmic rustling of his pages, the delicate melody of Ayame's world. As Haru drifted into sleep, he found himself lulled by the distant strumming of her shamisen, the familiar fragrance of her world wrapping around him like a comforting blanket. In the realm of dreams, Ayame was no longer a distant echo from the past. She was there with him, her ethereal beauty mirroring the moonlit night of Kyoto, her voice a soft whisper against the night's silence. Their worlds merged, their narratives intertwining under the starlit sky, a testament to a love story that transcended the barriers of time. With the dawn of a new day, their tale would continue to unfold, their voices resonating in a timeless symphony. Haru knew their story was far from over. In the world of ink and parchment, under the watchful eyes of the morning sun, their hearts would continue to dance their timeless waltz. Haru found himself drawn back to the desk, the letter, the manuscript, the fan. They all beckoned him, whispering tales of an era long gone, yet echoing loudly within his heart. With every day that passed, the tale of Ayame was becoming his own, a shared heartbeat in a world that spanned across centuries. As he resumed writing, Haru felt his connection with Ayame deepen, their echoes of longing and love blending into a single harmonious note. His solitude was now a symphony, their silent conversations a melody that played in his heart, touching its deepest corners. His world was no longer defined by the solitude of his existence, but the shared solitude he found with Ayame. Through her, Haru was exploring uncharted territories of his heart, his life echoing her undying love and relentless yearning. The silent voice of the past had become his guiding light, illuminating his world with her ethereal presence. As the day waned and the dusk cast long shadows over the room, Haru felt an overwhelming sense of peace. With Ayame's narrative etched in his heart and her world intertwined with his, Haru was no longer alone. The inked echoes of Ayame's voice resonated within him, her love story a melody that serenaded his solitude. The night draped the city of Kyoto in its comforting embrace, the moon a silent companion in Haru's journey through time. His manuscript, now filled with Ayame's tale, rustled under his touch, each word a testament to their intertwined destinies. As Haru drifted off to sleep, his mind filled with images of the geisha under the cherry blossom trees, he knew that a new day would bring with it another chapter in their shared narrative. A narrative that would continue to echo in his heart, a love letter lost in time, now found and forever treasured. Beneath the watchful gaze of the moon, in the silence of the night, Ayame's whispers from the past lulled him into a peaceful slumber. Their worlds, separated by centuries, were now bound by the threads of longing and love. Haru and Ayame, two solitary hearts, had found solace in each other's echo, their tales intertwining to create a timeless love story. As his eyes closed and he succumbed to the pull of sleep, Haru knew he was not alone. Ayame was there with him, her story now a part of his, their shared solitude a testament to a love that transcended the constraints of time. In the realm of dreams and reality, under the shimmering sky of modern Kyoto, their love story would continue to unfold. As our story comes to a close, let the lull of this soothing ambiance continue to cradle you further into your journey of calmness and rest. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your relaxation and sleep routine tonight. Remember, each day brings a new story, and each night brings a fresh chance to regenerate, to dream, and to become more of who you are. As this background sound lulls you further into sleep, I hope you find peace, comfort, and a well-deserved rest. Good night, dear listener. Until our next story, sleep well and dream beautifully.